Hey, good morning, everybody. Thanks for clicking on the video. This is David Pendleton here, starting the Champ de Mars Tournament Rookie Division. Hopefully you had a great weekend. On this video, I'm going to cover holes number 1 and holes number 2, so let's go ahead and get into it. Hole number 1, we're going to go 0% at max, 6 bars of top spin, 1 bar of side spin to the left. Really what you're looking to do here is just this rough bump rollout. Lower level extra mile players, sometimes you need to use a katana ball here. You can even do this drive with a big topper if that's the club that you need. So again, I'm just taking a normal shot here, or at least trying to take a normal shot. It does look like I use a click of OP, which I did not intentionally do if I did it all. You really want to keep yourself in thorn range for shot number 2. Sometimes if you get too many yards, it's going to start you off with your wedge like it did there. For me, I pushed up into my thorn, which means I'm going to be taking this shot at minimum distance. Very heavy backspin with 1 bar of side spin to the left. It is important to note that when you're using this much backspin, you need to make sure that you have the ball guideline going through the pin, just like I do here. Then I'm going to make this adjustment 0% at minimum, and then we're going to talk through what will happen if you do get too many yards and you can't take this shot with your thorn. But you'll see here, minus 5% at minimum puts me into the hole, hit the pin, and drop in. But let's say, for example, you're like me and you accidentally use some overpower. Maybe you have higher wind on the drive, like, 4 miles an hour or above, and you roll a little bit too far on the drive. You might have to take this with your wedge. That did happen to me on one of my accounts. I played it 0% at minimum distance with the wedge. I missed to the right. Oh, I'm sorry, I played it 0% at max because we were at max distance, not minimum. I apologize. If you take it with your wedge, you might want to try to play it 10% at max with the same type of setup. Most wedges don't have as much backspin, of course, as a thorn, but you want to go with backspin, 1 bar of side spin to the left, putting your ball guideline through the back of the cup, and 10% at maximum with the wedge. That's my suggestion for hole number 1. Yes, in tailwind here, there is a bombs away option. So in tailwind, if you want to play it, you can. I'll save it for the next round or the final round. You can try to land up here and move and then curl your shot over to the fairway green area. This is definitely the best wind angle for it, but in a qualifying round, I'm not going to be using the berserkers to get there. So that's hole number 1, covered a few different ways. So let's go to hole number 2. I'm going to show you 2 replays on hole number 2. They're going to be both in different wind strengths. 0% at mid. I didn't make either of these, but I want to show you both of my misses so you can figure out what to do. So in any wind scenario, I went with 3 bars of side spin to the left, 1 bar of backspin. You can see here in low wind, I'm offsetting to the left-hand side of the cup. I would say that the very tip of my ball guideline after spins are set is almost going through the top left-hand corner of the light green square, the exact same square that the hole is located in, okay? It's not exactly top left-hand corner, but it's very close. I do miss both of my shots to the right-hand side, so we do need to offset even more. You're going to see here that I pushed my rings instead of pull. I do not advise that you do that. I advise that you turn this camera the other way and pull your rings. It will be easier than pushing. But you see here, we just barely miss this one to the right-hand side. The speed is pretty good. So we know that in low wind, we need to offset just a little bit more than what I did there. Now, this is going to be a higher wind shot. You can see here in the higher wind, I did offset even more. And this time, I do end up pulling my rings instead of pushing. Make sure you pull nice and slow when you're pulling into any sand trap or your elevation is going from a high point to a low point or vice versa, because your rings can get distorted or they can move on you very quickly. But you see here in any wind strength, I had no problem hitting the rough and rolling down towards the pin. Anyways, the speed is good, but we just see here with 2 different wind strengths, we need to do more offsetting. So hopefully those 2 misses will help you get it closer to the hole or in the hole. That's holes number 1 and 2. Please subscribe. Please hit that thumbs up. I'll see you shortly for the next few holes.